All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 405 of the world famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast. Our dryer shit the bed. Stopped working. Again. It doesn't, it feels like everything's on repeat. It's like a cycle. It's an endless loop here at the House of K. Things break down. I don't know. I mean, that thing, our washer and dryer is basically running all the time. One of them, it feels like, pretty much all the time. There's 4 of us here. We all do our own laundry. I know that's weird, but that's true. I mean, we do our own laundry separately. I do mine on Sunday evening, and I always tell people, around, 5 o'clock, that thing needs to be empty. All right? Nothing in the washer, nothing in the dryer, because Daddy's doing his laundry. That's weird. But I do my own laundry, and that's the thing. When Tony and I lived together before we were married, she didn't do my laundry. You know, I wouldn't even want her doing my laundry back then. I mean, I don't want that. I don't want somebody rooting around in my unmentionables. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. You know, so I always did it myself. And it never stopped. We continued on that way forever. So I do my own laundry. She does her own laundry. Both boys do their own laundry. So those things get a workout, man. They're constantly in motion. So the dryer, it was only 5 months ago when it went down before, and now it's down again. You know what I'm saying? So they're coming out today between 11 and 1. And they're going to take a look at it and see what the hell's going on. But it never ends. I had to go to the laundromat on Sunday. Had to go over there. I washed the stuff here. And I had to take it over to the laundromat after dinner. And I was dreading it. I was like, oh my God, I hate going to the laundromat. Because I generally don't like it. You know, because it's always crowded. It's always hot. It's full of people who are, I don't know. They're loud, and it's just loud. There's people putting, faded out, washing their, Ocean City T-shirt, 1999, or whatever, Cape May, 2014, faded out. Or these gigantic sweatpants with the word pink across the ass. There's kids running around, people yelling. It's just terrible. I was dreading it all day, bitching, complaining. Like, what kind of world are we living in? That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. On that day, it felt like it was the worst thing. So after dinner, I washed my stuff and I put them in a basket and I drove them over there, and it was a pleasant experience. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't anything like I expected it. Walked in there, and the air conditioner was cranking. I mean, I walked from my car in, and it was like humid, muggy. Where's that word come from? Muggy. It's a stupid word. Muggy, hot, horrible. I walk in there, and it's like, oh, my God, this is great. I mean, that thing was kicking. It was frigid in there. Love it. I love that. So, and there was hardly anybody in there. There was like one couple in there, and they were just, sitting over in the corner in a chair waiting for their stuff to dry. There wasn't any yelling. There wasn't a bunch of kids running around, buzz-cut hicklets, yelling and screaming, and the parents are stopped yelling at them, Colt! Sit down, Colt. Yeah, all that stuff. I don't know why it's always Colt. But anyway, there wasn't any of that. It was cold in there, which was a pleasant surprise. There was hardly anybody in there. Everything was open. I didn't have to wait on a dryer. I used 2 dryers. I had 4 crisp $1 bills in my billfold wallet. My dad always said, I don't like the word wallet all my life when I was a kid. Hey, I don't like that. It's not a word I like. It's weird because I get told sometimes at work, like I was told one time not to use the word cocky one time at work. I said, it's guys, I don't know. It wasn't like in a meeting out with the team or anything. It was like in an office talking to a member of management. And I described somebody as cocky, and she said, don't use that. I don't like that. I don't like that word. I was like, what the? So anyway, what was I saying? What word did I use today? But anyway, what was I talking about? God, I get all off track. But anyway, I went over there and it was nice. It was brisk in there. I could just sit down. I wrote notes in my notebook about this podcast. I was like writing some notes about this podcast. I let my stuff dry, and it wasn't too bad. It was like good. It was like good for my mental health. Like for a second, I was able to detach from the world. That's not anything. I always think of things as the worst possible, because I've experienced the worst possible. I mean, for years we did, I had to go to laundromats when I had like apartments, I never had an apartment. Well, in California we had an apartment. It had a washer dryer in it. But every other apartment that I ever lived in did not. So I had to drag my shit to the laundromat. I told you, somebody broke into my car. Like, I was too lazy. This is Atlanta, and I lived upstairs in a house. It was a house broken up into 3 apartments. And that's where I lived with across the hall was a couple of members of Arrested Development, that band in the 90s. Not kidding. But anyway, so I lived upstairs. You had to walk up a flight of stairs to the door of the place, and then up another flight of stairs to the apartments. So I was like lazy. I went to the laundromat, and I didn't immediately. I guess I left it overnight or something. No, I don't think it was overnight. I left it down there for a few hours. I went upstairs, was doing whatever I was doing. I left it in there. It was locked. It was on the street. And somebody knocked the window out of my car and stole my basket of clean laundry. What the hell? Who does this? Who steals somebody's laundry? I mean, Atlanta was God. That place is, I don't know. That place is a shithole. I mean, I don't know. I loved it. I loved part of it. There was so much to do, and there was, we had a lot of fun living there. But if I tried to live there now, I'd lose my mind. I wouldn't be able to do it. I was in my 20s at that time. Not now. I'd be like, this place sucks. Why would anybody live here? Dealing with this massive traffic, bums everywhere you go. Somebody's trying to separate you from your money. Everywhere. I mean, you can't. There's always this air of like, violence. You don't know. I mean, you don't know. I'd be walking around, and there'd be like lunatics out there. Guys trying to sell me a pair of pants. Hey, man, I got a real nice pair of pants. Like, I don't generally buy my pants off the street. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, guys trying to sell me like a box spring or something. I don't know. I don't think so. People trying to sell you stuff and separating you from your money. Anyway, somebody stole my laundry. But anyway, so I've had my experience with laundromats, and they're generally bleak and depressing. And I was thinking, what places that you go to, places of business, do you consider to be depressing? Depressing places. I can only come up with 2. I think I've talked about this before. But what are places of business that just depress you? there's some kind of melancholy, some kind of sadness in there. What do you got? I got two that I wrote down. Big Lots. That place is sad. That's where everything goes to die. That's just everything. It's like rejected stuff that was rejected by a real store, and it's just dumped in there. Place is a mess all the time. There's not a care about any kind of aesthetics. Everything's just like dumped in there. The workers are sad and demoralized. The place is a shithole, and there's the stuff that they sell is just like, I don't know, like stuff, I don't know, like off-brand Pop-Tarts and stuff like that, like garden hoses that would probably, as soon as you turn the water on, they probably just detach from the wall. It's I don't know. Big Lots is a depressing place. I hate going in there. I don't think I've been in one of those things in years. And there's another one called Ollie's. It's similar up in here. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those. It's similar. It's a little bit better because at least they have interesting stuff in there sometimes. Sometimes, not always. But it's just in the same category. It's just a little. It's a cut above Big Lots. I went in there one time to this Ollie's. It was years ago, and they had you literally never know what you're going to see in there. One time I went in there, and they had Japanese slot machines. Like they were full-size, like Vegas-style slot machines with Japanese writing all over them. I could have never predicted that, So that place is, that's not nearly as depressing as Big Lots. And another one, Tony thinks I'm crazy about this. I don't know why, but I don't know why I feel this way. And it seems counterintuitive, but one of the most depressing places of business in the world, in my opinion, is Party City. I hate that store. I can't stand. When I walk through the door, it just, I don't know, just a veil of sadness. You know what I mean? I'm underneath a veil of sadness walking around that place. And our kids used to love to go in there for some reason when they were young. So we're in there all the time. I was like, I hate this place. This place sucks. Another place, I didn't put this on my list, but when our kids were young, Chuck E. Cheese, that's not, that place. That place was hot. Every time you went in there, it's hot. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know. And it's loud. And it's expensive. And they have food in there that sucks. I remember one time we were in there with Tony's mother, Sunshine. Good old Sunshine and Mumbles. We were in there. Our kids were young or little, Well, the kids are in that pit of balls, and it's like plastic balls and boogers and snot and I don't know, just diseases, stuff that's been I don't know, like polio could be in there. I don't know. It's just a ball of wallowing around in there. Our kids are running around, getting overstimulated, and the whole place is clanking. Lights are flashing off and on. There's some guy dressed as a mouse with matted fur. It's got like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Thing's dirty. Like if somebody threw an egg at him or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. And but old Sonny, she ordered some wings. She's got an order of wings at Chuck E. Cheese. And I was like, what the? I said, just stick with the frozen pizza. If you're going to get something there, because that's what it is. It's just frozen pizza. It's not good. It's not good at all. It's the opposite of good. But she got an order of wings, which I didn't even know they sold. So she starts chowing down on those things. And she was like, oh my God, these things are too spicy. Chuck E. Cheese wings, right? These things are unbelievably spicy. I can't even eat them, So she calls over the waitress, and she goes, "Can you have the chef redo these and not make them quite so spicy? I can't handle this level of spice." And she was like, the chef? This shit comes in a sack. This shit comes in off a DHL truck. There's no chef. She thought there was like people back there cooking, like there's like a full kitchen back there. That's another place that sucks. And why is it always hot in those places? Always like super hot. It doesn't matter what month of the year. It doesn't matter if it's the morning, the night, the noon. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's August or February. It's hot. Like really. The first thing I think of when I think of Chuck E. Cheese, hot. I hate being hot. I don't like being hot. And that place is a hot box. Anyway, so what do you got? What are places of business that are just sad? I've never been in a Dollar General. I have a feeling I'd probably fall into that category. I have never set foot in a Dollar General, and I didn't do it on purpose. It's just I never went into one, and now it's something that I'm like clinging to. It's like I'm making a point of it. When the younger boy moved to Pittsburgh for a few months, I don't want to get into that, but he was over there for, I don't know, 9 months or so, something like that. And right directly across the store was a Dollar General, and they needed something. He needed something. We were moving in, and Tony's like, "Why don't you go over to that Dollar General and grab?" I think it was like paper towels or something. I said, "I'm not going over there." So I'm not going in. I'm not setting foot in a Dollar General. You know that. Everybody knows this. I will never set foot in a Dollar General. She goes, "Oh my God, you're ridiculous," So I think she sent one of the older boy over there. Like, I'm not going in there. No way. Anyway, I've never set foot in one. And unless I'm in some kind of an emergency situation, I never will. Thank you very much. I'm a hero. You can put #hero underneath my photo. I don't know what I'm talking about. I went to 2 baseball games, 2 minor league baseball games. Cincinnati Reds farm team, the Louisville Bats, came to town playing the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, which is the Yankees AAA farm team. So they were here for 6 days. The minor leagues have a weird schedule. They play the same team 6 days in a row. They're always off on Monday. Every minor league team is off on Monday, and then they play Tuesday through Sunday, the same team. So every week they get a day off, and they play the same team for the whole week. I don't know, they started doing that for COVID, I think, and they liked it. I think it cut down on travel costs and stuff. But anyway, so they were here for 6 days, and I took a couple of days off from work because I'm burned to a crisp. And I went to Thursday's game with Tony. She went with me. We went up there. It was hot, really hot, even hotter than a Chuck E. Cheese. But we went up there. It was fun. We went and watched the game, and it was good. And they had $2 some kind of shit beer. What was it? Michelob Ultra. Oh my God! It's like in those 16-ounce metal bottles. It's like shaped like a bottle, but it's aluminum. You know what I mean? And it was Michelob Ultra, $2 at a baseball game. I thought, shit. I'm sure it's not any good, but at that price, so I had 2 of those. Terrible. I mean, I can't even. Like literally terrible. That stuff is just straight up swill. But I had 2 of them because they were cheap, $2. What are you gonna do? I mean, you can't, So and we watched the game, and it was fun. It was good times. It was hot though. It was really hot. The next day, Friday, Steve and I went, and it stormed. There was a big thunderstorm went through. In fact, the game got pushed back. It was supposed to start at 6:30 or something. I think it started at 7:15. Because of the rain, the rains came through, and there was standing water on the warning track. They said, due to standing water on the warning track, where the first pitch has been moved to 7:15. So So we went up there. Every time Steve and I go to a baseball game, it rains. I don't know. There's always rain involved. You know, we went to that. We went to that one in Baltimore, and it rained and rained and rained. Long ass rain delays, multiple rain delays, just pouring, just a monsoon. You know, and then the Reds got their ass handed to them in that game. It was hot. It was hot and rainy. It was really, really hot, and it was raining. You know, all my favorite things. And the Reds lost. And then we went to the Reds and Phillies earlier this year. Rained, just nonstop rain. And then this game we went to, it wasn't as bad. So it just got pushed back to 7:15, and we went to our seats. Had great seats. I went online and just bought. I just went on there to see what was available. Things were right behind home plate, 7 rows up. And they cost I don't know, I don't remember how much they were, 30 or 28 or something. I mean, they weren't very expensive. It's minor league baseball. We had fantastic seats, you know. So we went down there, and it started raining, and we had to run for cover, you know. And then you go back and you try to wipe your seat off, but you have a wet ass. It's just like a moist ass for the rest of the evening. You know, it's hard to. It's very difficult to get one of those plastic seats completely dry. So you know you got the moist ass, and you know, whatever. But so then we went to had a couple of I don't want to get into that. I won't get into that part. But we had a couple beers. One each. It was this Wallenpaupack Brewing Company. It's a local brewing company. It's local. Tony and I went there a couple years ago, and that was back when we had that wiener dog. Remember we had that wiener dog called Dusty? We had to keep him a couple times. Or we agreed to. I mean, it wasn't like we were forced to. We agreed to keep this wiener dog. And then somehow she didn't even come to pick him up. We had to drive the thing back to her house. You know, kind of left it's like, would you mind keeping Dusty for a couple days, 3 days while we got out of town? Tony's like, yeah, we'll keep him. We like Dusty. We're a big fan of Dusty. So then they get back to town and they don't come get him. They're just like, she's like, well, maybe we'll get there tomorrow. I'm like, what the hell? Get this dog out of here, you know? I mean, I don't mind keeping him, but if they're back in town, what the hell's going on? So we ended up having to drive him out there. It was in this area called Wallenpaupack. What do you think about that name? Some kind of Indian name, I think. Wallenpaupack. There's all kinds of that weirdness up in here. So we drove him out there and dropped him off, and I don't even think there was a thank you, I don't know. The whole thing. I mean, I didn't mind spending time with Dusty. He was pretty good, although the second time we kept him, he was annoying. I don't know what happened to him. First time, it felt like he was a little easygoing. Maybe he was a little freaked out. Second time, maybe he was more used to us, and the real Dusty shined through. A little annoying the second time. But I think both times I don't know. At least one time we had to drive him out there. I think Tony drove him out there the second time. First time both of us went. So anyway, there's this brewing company out there. It's a brewery called Wallenpaupack Brewing Company. So we drove out there. I said, let's go drop that stupid hound off, that sack of ticks. that comically elongated sack of ticks, and then we'll swing by that Wallenpaupack Brewing Company and have a beer, maybe have dinner or something. She goes, sounds good. So we went out there. I was like, we were driving out there, and I'm like, what the? So just driving and driving and driving. It's felt like I said, are we still in the United States? I don't know. I mean, we can't. I mean, there's no way we're still in Pennsylvania, right? Where are we at? Are we in upstate New York? What the hell's going on? It felt like we were driving forever. And we dropped off we dropped Dusty off, and there was not even a thank you. At least I can't remember one. And we swung by the Wallen Paul Pack Brewing Company. Cool place, really cool place. And we had a beer, I think, and maybe like, I don't know, an appetizer. I don't remember. But you know, the weird thing about that is we drove so far. It felt like we were driving forever. It felt like it was unbelievable. I mean, like it was unbelievably an unbelievable length of time. It was like some kind of like not an optical illusion, but something to do with, there was like a warp in time or something. Felt like it literally felt like we were in a different state. Like we were not in Pennsylvania, and maybe not even in the United States. And there's some girl from work in there. There's some girl that works the same place I do. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. Anyway, so they can their own beer, and you can get it in stores and stuff. They had those at the baseball game. They were those big 19-ounces. I said, how much those things cost? Because I was bracing for, because it's craft beer, and it's one of those big cans, and it's a baseball game. So I thought they would be like pushing $20 a can, because that's how much they'd be in Philly. They'd be like $17, $18 for a can. He goes, $10. I was like, it's a pretty good deal. It's weird how you can be in like some kind of you get in your head. You're at a baseball game in a baseball stadium, and that's a good deal. Like that's good value. $10 for one can of beer. Shit. So give me two of those bitches. All right. So anyway, so we had one of those, and we watched the game. It was fun. And after the rain came through, it wasn't nearly as hot. It wasn't nearly as hot as the first game that we went to. So it was fun. We sat there. There was this family behind us, like right behind us, a whole bunch of them. They were like, all of them were young, probably in their 20s. Some of them were teenagers, and some of them were in their 20s. And they were yelling, like the entire time. Yelling. I mean, we're sitting right behind home plate. I mean, they were yelling, insulting shit at the players and stuff. It was getting a little carried away. And some of it was funny. I mean, every once in a while they'd say something that was actually funny. But mostly it was just abuse, just verbal abuse. I'm surprised they didn't get kicked out of there. I'm surprised one of those players didn't flip out and come up in the stands and start wailing on somebody. And then there were these kids, looked like they were like 12 years old, 13. They were down there. There's like four of them sitting side by side. They were yelling abuse too. There's like all kinds of people yelling, And I don't know if you've been to a baseball game or any of these sporting events. I guess they think that people have no attention span. I guess it's probably true. They have so much piped in music and so much. I mean, you can't. Every pitch, there has to be music between the pitches, and it's so loud. And there's people yelling, There's people just yelling, insulting shit at the players, and making fun of their names and stuff, and there's like just blaring music, this constant, nonstop, like just stimulation, just nonstop. It's like, my God, you can't even talk in there. Like I was trying to talk to Steve. And you can't even have a conversation in there. It's just like so loud. It was fun. The game was good. The Reds won both games. It was fun. Well, the Reds farm team. It was good times. We had fun. And I thought about going to the one of the weekend games, but both of them are 105. Too hot. I can't. I'm not going to sit out there in the sun baking out there. No way. Didn't sound fun to me. It didn't go. So anyway, I went to 2 of the 6 games. Yeah, it was good times. I got to see some maybe future Reds play. So that was good stuff. We went to dinner at Five Guys. You've been to Five Guys lately? I know this is hack, but that place is unbelievably expensive. Like shockingly expensive. We got 2 burgers, just 2 cheeseburgers, one each. And we got one order of regular fries, not the super large one. just a regular order of fries. He got water. I don't know. He's got like just a cup and just not a bottle of water, just free water. Like and I got a like a fountain drink, right? So 2 burgers, a fry, and a fountain drink. $40. What the hell? Like, is that insane? It's a fast food. I mean, you're ordering it from the counter. They hand you a greasy sack, Here you go, number 88. All right, here you go. Here's your greasy sack. It's good. Here's your feed bag. It's good though. That shit's good. It's really good, but it's super expensive. Like shockingly expensive. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Anyway, so we're at the end of this thing where I have actually more things to talk about. That's pretty good. It's kind of a stream of consciousness episode. It's for patrons. So that's you, and I appreciate you guys for your support over at Patreon. I really do. I hope you enjoy these extra episodes. And if you want to give me a call, I urge you to do that. The number to do that is 570-290-8151. You can call me around the clock, leave a message, make a comment or a suggestion or whatever. You can call in and tell me what stores or places of business, doesn't have to be a store, any kind of place of business that's just depressing, demoralizing, just a veil of sadness, just a low-hanging melancholy in there. Give me a call, 570-290-8151. I'd love to hear what you got on that. And if my phone doesn't stop chirping, I'm going to lose my mind. I know I'm supposed to turn that thing off, but there's a whole bunch of people not here. There's people outside the house, and if they need to reach me, I don't feel comfortable turning my phone off unless everybody's here. You know what I mean? You with me? You feel me? You smell what I'm cooking? All right. And also, surfreportpod.com is the web home of the podcast. So check that out as well. It's got expanded show notes, etc., etc. So check that out today, surfreportpod.com. We're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys again. Thank you for your support of Patreon. It's greatly appreciated and helps me out a great deal. And I hope you enjoy these extra bonus episodes I do as a way of saying thank you. So until next time, which will be over on the main network, hope you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye. Gigantic sweatpants with the word pink across the ass.